On today's episode, two powerful questions. What is healthy love and what is unhealthy love? And I'm going to just go into this like I'm fighting the bully at 3 o'clock by the bikes and it's 2:59. Healthy love. And healthy love is a foundation for growth, by the way. Healthy love shapes and sharpens the self as well as each other. Healthy love is power filled, not powerless. Healthy love is interdependent, not codependent. It's the delicate dance of two strong individuals who lean on each other without losing their footing. It's knowing you don't need the other person to survive, but choosing to walk this path together because it's better that way, because it's healing that way. It's a partnership that honors individuality while fostering connection. Healthy love is patient and kind. Yes, but it's more than that. It's compassionate. It sees the whole person, not just who they are today, but where they've been and where they're going. It accepts their story fully, complete with its messy chapters and unresolved plot lines, while encouraging growth and healing. Healthy love doesn't demand perfection. It thrives in the truth of imperfection. Healthy love requires communication, the lifeblood of any healthy relationship. But not just words on every level: verbal, emotional, physical, and even the unspoken language of subtext. What's running underneath? It's about listening to what's said and what isn't, staying curious instead of jumping to conclusions, and constantly looking inward. Because healthy love demands self-awareness. It requires us to examine our own patterns, take ownership of our flaws, and show up for our partner with honesty and accountability. In one word, healthy love is growth. It's the willingness to challenge each other, not to break one another down, but to build something stronger, greater together. It's two strong containers, each holding space for the other to evolve. It's the mutual commitment to becoming not just better partners, but better people. But perhaps the most important element of healthy love is this: the ability to repair the ruptures. Because there will be arguments, misunderstandings, conflict, and moments where you hurt each other, even unintentionally. Healthy love isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about what happens next. It's the willingness to lean in, to mend what's been broken, to own your mistakes, and to rebuild trust. Healthy love heals in ways you didn't know you needed. It stretches you, teaches you, and holds up a mirror to your deepest wounds and darkest shadows. And yes, healthy love is rare, but it's rare because it requires effort. It asks for vulnerability and patience and a commitment to evolve, not just in easy moments, but in the hard ones too. This is the kind of love worth striving for, fighting for. And as we dive deeper into the second part of this book, yes, you are getting a glimpse of I think it's my seventh book, Love Hard on Purpose, which will be out in 2025. We're going to explore exactly how to build healthy love. All right, let's talk about unhealthy love. What I call a prison disguised as passion. Unhealthy love is not love at all. It's powerlessness masquerading as connection. It's selfish and enabling, a dynamic with no boundaries, where one or both partners lose themselves in a haze of desperation and need. It's a kind of love that feels like an adrenaline rush in the beginning. Man, who can't relate to that? But leaves you stranded in a tailspin, wondering where it all went wrong. Unhealthy love is being powerless, selfish, and enabling. It has no boundaries. Unhealthy love has conditions and is contingent. An obsession, a transaction, comes in a bottle and feels like a shot instead of a slow burn. Unhealthy love is given, not earned. It is immature, irresponsible, and dependent. Unhealthy love is urgent, frantic, and lined with desperation. It doesn't wait, it manipulates and compromises the self, convincing you to sacrifice your values, boundaries, and sometimes your dignity. Unhealthy love is a pissing contest, a tug of war, a mute silence, and a kickstand. Unhealthy love promotes the false self and stunts growth. It is a drug. It's addictive because it's powerful, but that power comes with a cost. The more you chase it, the more it traps you. It feeds the false belief that this is what love is supposed to feel like: intense, all consuming, and tumultuous. But in reality, it's not love at all. It's a prison with invisible bars. Unhealthy love is common. It's everywhere because we're often taught to mistake intensity for intimacy and drama for passion. It's the love we see in movies, hear about on songs, and sometimes even inherit from the relationships we grew up around. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's healthy. So before asking yourself if you should love someone or not, ask yourself if it's healthy. Because if you keep giving yourself unhealthy love experiences, yes, it may feel powerful and you'll get your dopamine hit, but then there will be a tailspin involved and you'll only know one version of love, a version that comes with prison bars. The good news is there's a natural evolution to love that goes from young to mature. Love does want to grow up. It's us that gets in the way of that. It's us that gets in the way by not examining ourselves, our wiring, our behavior, and making poor choices. Then we blame ourselves and internalize thinking there's something wrong with us, that we are defective. I want to end with my current definition of love. And of course, as we grow and evolve, our definition of love changes, right? But today at 52, this is my current definition of love. And I intentionally say current instead of new because part of my current definition of love is that it is ever changing, as I just said, right? Our definition of love always taking different shapes, growing and evolving as we do. Sometimes they are fragmented in pieces, sometimes they require assembly, but they are always a living, breathing thing. Our definitions may be settled, but they are never hardened cement, because with every new collision comes new insights, highs, lows, edges, and cracks and revelations. And through these revelations about ourselves, about others, about what we thought love was, we begin to reshape and redefine. And that's the beauty of love. There is no one fits all or standard. Love is limitless and ever growing. So it doesn't define love. So it doesn't define well. But we all have ideas, a snapshot of what love should look like with where we're currently at in our life, what works for us and doesn't, and in these shapes that we pour our intimate experiences into. I've been married, divorced, and I've been through many long-term relationships. The longest I've loved someone was 10 years, the shortest 4 months. I've also coached thousands on relationships, and I've studied patterns, relationship dynamics, and wiring. And I've learned what works, what doesn't work, and why. But at the end of the day, it's still confusing and blurry at times. There are so many ways to dissect a love experience. There are so many factors, and each experience comes with its own challenges. But I put together a quilted definition, if you will, patches of different ideas and thoughts. And so for now, until my next love experience and the blanket changing once again. All right, here's my current definition of love today. First, love is everything. And by the way, can I just say, when I say my next love experience, that could also be with the same person. You know what I'm saying? Relationships actually die within that container and can be reborn, even though the people are the same. The love can be different. And I think that's also one of the most beautiful things about love. All right, first, love is everything that happens after the fall. And by fall, I mean the natural high we get from the collision, the stripping of layers, discovering a new connection, soul, body, and mind, the dance, the banter, the swimming in fantasy. That is not love. That is infatuation, a crush, a feeling in a lot of blanks. It is real, but it is not love. It's only the first domino. Love is the falling of many dominoes. Love kicks in when you realize the person you choose to be with is not perfect, when they don't stack the dishes right and eat faster than you, when they are challenging, difficult, and reactive at times, when you realize they're not the same person you met. The truth is they are, they're just more honest now. The choice to accept about them, that's the choice to fully accept them. That's what love looks like in action. Second, love is not held, it's grabbed. This means love is not controlling or possessive. There's no ownership in love. Many try to control due to their own fears and insecurities, but it's disguised in a fancy wrapping, and we call it love. Love is accepting and creating spaces for the other to fully live their journey in this life. Choosing to love each other is a gift and a privilege, which should add to the quality of both lives, not take from. Go, grow, wander, but know my hand is here. When you want to come back, holding doesn't track, tally, or punish. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't disguise fear as devotion. Holding isn't about ownership. It's about offering. The offering of space, the offering of trust, the offering of love so secure it doesn't beg for proof. This is what holding looks like. Finally, love is medicine. Now let me explain. This is such an important piece and a huge revelation within the last few years. Although this is my current definition of love, it is also extremely difficult to execute because I, like you, have deep imprints, expectations from previous generations on which love should look like. I am anxiously attached and have childhood wounds like everyone else because I have an ego and struggle fulfilling my own needs, because I don't want to give unless I get back, because I live in time machines and compare old love with new, because I have spinning thoughts and let my emotions get the best of me, because love still stands center stage in my life, because I'm human, because no matter how much you've worked on yourself or therapy you've had, conflict and repair is still difficult. So love is challenging, draining, and disruptive. Love is confusing. Love is addictive. Love is consuming. Love is disappointing. Love is quicksand. Love is arguing, fighting, disagreeing. Love is white knuckles, snapping back to your old unhealed self. Love is frustration. Love is debilitating. Love is distracting. Love is lopsided. Love is messy. And it's in and through this mess that love can become medicine, but only if we are loving consciously with awareness, intention, processing, and taking ownership. If we don't, love is not medicine. Love is a drug. Hope that was helpful for you. Hope it landed in some way or stirred something up. And if it did, maybe send it to someone else who may need to hear it. Thank you for listening. Be well.